Thero and Saranai. It's good to see all of us joining from all over the world via YouTube and Zoom. This is the 4th episode of Revealing the Real Buddhism Season 1. This program is conducted by the Arya Dhamma Meditation Group, which is a registered charity in UK. Today's program is a continuation from last week, and there's an opportunity for you to ask questions during the second half. We encourage you to use the raise hand option on Zoom to ask questions. Alternatively, you can use the chat function and also raise questions via YouTube. And I'll ask Cyrilaya to invite Thero to this platform.
Dear Dhamma friends, we welcome you all to the 4th Dhamma discussion today. Today also Venerable Walasmulle Abhaya Thero is joining to lead the Dhamma discussion and the Q&A session via Zoom. With all our respect, we do appreciate the Thero's immense contribution for us to understand the real teachings of the Buddha. As a gratitude, we get together and do our blessings to Venerable Abhaya Thero to have a good health and long life and to attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now I kindly invite Venerable Thero to commence the Dhamma discussion today. Thero and Saranai.
Thero and Saranai for all my Dhamma friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening for everyone. On behalf of the Nirapeksha Maga, I would like to thank and give a lot of merits to Arya Dhamma Meditation Group in UK about this arranging this discussion in English medium. 3 sessions we already completed 3 sessions. Today also we are going to explain some Tripitaka evidence as well as our presentation to understand little Dhamma, what we understood so far. And I'll okay, shall we start our Dhamma discussion?
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is our English translation assisting service. And today is our 4th session. Thero and Saranai, Kalyana Mitra friends. It's always good to recap what we had learned so far. And the first few slides will briefly describe what we have learned and the basic knowledge that we need to progress. We've already learned about the 5 aggregates, which is Panchaskandha. And these are the sensory inputs that's coming from our sensory organs. And these 5 aggregates from each sensory input form have an image or impression of vibrant composure, which is called Rupa. Then the sensations or feelings received from the form called Vedana, or the signals and perceptions called Sanya, and mental fabrication or processing called Sankhara, and the consciousness, Vijnana, means the recognition of the sensory input. So these sensory inputs are received and interpreted in our mind. We also learned how Raga, that's greed, Dvesha, the hatred, and Moha, the delusion, makes these 5 aggregates become 5 grasping aggregates called Pancha Upadanaskandha to promote worldly actions. So mostly we've been talking about the mind, then how the thoughts are generated and about the thoughts and the actions that follow. And actually, most of the core Dhamma is about the mind and thoughts and actions. So you have your mind and then you have a thought, and the thoughts are clean at inception. And they're usually polluted by lustful, hateful, or delusional chase of thoughts. Why is this happening? Because of avidya. Avidya means ignorance. Ignorance of what? And that's the Four Noble Truths. So the first thing that we wanted to do was to learn the Four Noble Truths. So the Four Noble Truths consist of dukkha, the truth of suffering; samudaya, the truth of the origin of suffering; nirodha, the truth of the end of suffering; and magga, the truth of the path to the end of suffering. To learn these Four Noble Truths, there was a need that we understand and develop some basic knowledge. To do this, we highlighted certain areas, and I'll briefly mention what we had done and what we are going to do today. So during the last 3 sessions, we learned the 5 aggregates and the 5 grasping aggregates. That's Panchaskandha and Pancha Upadanaskandha. We learned the law of dependent origination, that's Paticca We learned the gratification, that's Asada; drawback, that is Adinava; and escape, Nissarana. Then we also learned about the craving or greed, which is called Raga; aversion or hatred, Dvesha; and delusion, that's Moha. Then we went on to learn Anicca, the insatiability; then the Dukkha, the noble suffering; and Anatta, the worthlessness. Then we learned about Sankhara and Abhisankhara, how that leads to bonding. Then we learned about the immoral actions and also the Sattara Mahabhuta. Today, we'll start from Sattara Satipatthana. So before learning Sattara Satipatthana, we need to understand something very basic. That is, what is karma or kamma? Kamma is an impersonal natural law which operates in accordance with our volition. Volition means the conscious choice. And it does not have any lawgiver. There's no governor who governs karma. So, since there is no hidden ruling agent directing or administering rewards and punishments, bad karmic returns may be mitigated by good mental fabrications promoting moral actions. So prayer to some supernatural forces or rituals may be an alternative to modify returns in mundane and laukika terms.
When someone heard of the word karma, the some are accepting this karma, some are rejecting. But the thing is, at the beginning, I also rejected. I also couldn't understand. But nowadays, now I can understand properly by studying of this Four Noble Truth and Paticca and a lot of things. Really, karma is an energy. The whatever the energy created by the our human body, human mind, with the volition of someone's volition, there are a lot of energy created within your mind. In some cases in science also this is little mentioned as a bioenergy. That bioenergy is created by the karmic energy, that means thought. By the according to the volition of our thought, karmic energy is creation. I have done in my Dhamma discussion with our aura and a lot of scientific principles. But later on we'll explain in detailing how this karma creation. The karma is an energy If the karma is a energy, it should be a watt or kilowatt. But with the energy measurement, we can get the karma as a energy. There are some scientific equation, even equation E equal HF for the karmic energy in science, but we have to match these science and Buddhism together and get the clear picture. But the thing is, a lot of guys they are thinking that if the karma is someone did any karma, it should be definitely come as a return. But the returns are come, it's okay, but the thing is we can change these things. If the bad karma returns come to, then by doing the good karma you can destruct those energy. If any type of energy, we can even destruct by using the opposite way of doing the same thing. By that kind of teaching in the Buddhism, by you giving dana, by doing good things, and there are a lot of things by doing the meditation, even doing the some yoga, or if we can create some white aura, a lot of black aura we can cancel it out. The black aura mean bad karmic returns, but from bad karmic returns we can change. If we know this is the time of the bad karma returns, then we can do some lot of good things. Then when we are changing a volition, when you are mental fabrication to a good side, then that returns can be some amount we can change. That teaching is in the Buddhism.
So karma or karma in simple language is do good and good will come to you. Do bad and bad will come to you. In other words, if you sow good seeds, you will reap a good harvest. If you sow a bad seeds, you will reap a bad harvest. So volitional mind is the forerunner of all good and bad states. But Lord Buddha pointed out that if everything is determined, then there would be no free will and no moral or spiritual life. We would merely be the slaves of our past. If everything is undetermined, then there can be no cultivation of moral and spiritual growth. Therefore, the Buddha accepted neither strict determinism nor strict indeterminism in karma.
This karma and the return from the karma, it is there, but it is with the help of this return of this karma, we are creating the new karma. There are two processes. One is from past karma return, and then after return comes, according to the way we are reacting on the karma return, we are creating new karma. But in Buddhism, karma return, we can little amount of the karma return can be changed by doing the good karma. And what we can do, we can stop the creation of the new karma. Since this is a bad karma, if you understand the Four Noble Truth, we are day by day, we are given up this bad habit. By giving up the bad habit or bad volition or bad way of thinking, by our bad word and bad action, we can day by day we can improve our spiritual growth. With the spiritual growth, we can go toward the good side of our life.
So a man will reap what he has sown. We are the result of what we were, and we will be the result of what we are. That's a similar statement in Bible. So the man is not one who will absolutely remain to be what he was, and he will not continue to remain as what he is. Thus, karma alone is not a complete determination of our destiny.
Yeah, the karma is come as a return, but by using the prajna means wisdom, we can change these all the karmic returns to a good side. If we understand the Four Noble Truth, that is the only way to cease or stop this all bad karma, and we can turn our life to the Nibbana path. Even for Nibbana path, either Nibbana path or is a good side of our life. That decision is up to you by just understanding this Four Noble Truth. After understand the Four Noble Truth only someone can understand that the lust, hate and delusion is not a good thing. There are some drawback. That means there are some consequence that it's not a good thing, lust and hate and delusion. So by just cessation of this lust, hateful and delusion, that means if you can given up the the noble suffering, then we can change our destiny. That means we can change our direction of the life. That's very easy if you understand the Four Noble Truth.
So Satara Satipatthana now refers to an approach aimed at establishing sati. Sati can be laukika, that's mundane, or lokotara, that's supramundane. Our focus here is the supramundane, lokotara arm of sati. Now, sati is a good mental factor. Sati arises only during moral thoughts, kusala sitta. Sati does not arise in immoral thoughts, that's akusala sitta. Sati is the seventh of the 8 path factors in the Noble Eightfold Path. Sati promotes only moral thoughts, kusala sitta, and not immoral thoughts. So, supramundane lokotara meaning of sati is really looking at the world within a foundation of the Four Noble Truths and contemplating anicca, dukkha, anatta. This is actually samma sati. So the mundane laukika meaning of sati is refraining from the 10 immoral actions and leading moral vision and mindfulness at present time. That means as it is occurring. So Satara Satipatthana is a self-training process that comes in 4 steps. And that is why it is called Satara Satipatthana. Now, Satara Satipatthana includes 4 anupassana. Now, what is anupassana? Anupassana is looking at, thinking about, reviewing and contemplating on the basis of anicca, that's insatiability, dukkha, that is suffering, and anatta, that's valuelessness. It aims to ultimately get rid of raga, lustful, dvesha, hateful, and moha, delusional thoughts. So the difference between kaya-anupassana, for example, and kaya-anupassana is, in mundane terms, kaya-anupassana is observing the existing kaya, that's bodily actions, at present time as it occurs. This is practicing mindfulness on laukika terms. So lokotara, that's supramundane kaya-anupassana, is kaya-anupassana. Now, kaya refers to bodily actions in relation to 6 faculties related to vipaka returns. Kayanupassana is observe kaya, that's bodily actions, contemplating the anicca, dukkha, anatta to get rid of the 10 immoral actions. So kaya cannot be ceased, but kayanupassana can be ceased. So the 4 steps in Satara Satipatthana in mundane terms says Kayanupassana means observe the bodily actions at present time. Vedananupassana means observe about how certain feelings arise at present time. Chittanupassana means observe at the thinking process at present time. Dhammanupassana means contemplate anicca, dukkha, anatma, that's impermanent suffering and non-self or soullessness.
When you think about the Satara Satipatthana, that's the way to get rid of and cessation of all our sufferings. So when you consider about this word, there are 2 methods. 2 methods mean Satara Satipatthana in some mundane and super mundane way. In our discussion, we are mainly focused on super mundane way. That means it is mainly based on anicca, dukkha, anatta, insatiability, suffering, and worthlessness. If you after understanding of the Four Noble Truth only, someone can practice the real Satara Satipatthana. But nowadays, without any Buddhist philosophy, a lot of people are doing the even Satara Satipatthana and mindfulness, and lot of what they are doing, they are trying to keep their mind at present. They are doing lot of practices to keep their mind at present moment. But the thing is, always your mind is only at the present time. So no one can keep your mind in the future or past. Your mind is always, all the time, only at the present. But they are trying to do that one. I don't know what they are doing. But in Buddhism, in real Buddhism, there is a Satara Satipatthana in super mundane way. For that purpose, what we are doing, we first of all, you have to understand the Four Noble Truth. That means, the drawback of the gratification is as a insatiable suffering and worthlessness. After understanding of the insatiability of this gratification, then you have to just after understanding, then you have to practice these things. In real day-to-day life, you have to apply these principles. That application part is called as a Satara Satipatthana, super mundane way. Then when you look at something, you are hearing something, smelling, tasting, or touching something, or thinking something, then you have to apply this anicca, dukkha, anatta, insatiability. Then how that's insatiable? Why we are telling that gratification are insatiable? So these all the principles you have to apply, and really that whatever the Four Noble Truth you understood, you have to really practice at the present time. That is called super mundane way of using the Satara Satipatthana. The mundane way is just to keep their mind in present. But the thing is, mind is already at the present. So there are no any practices need to keep our mind at the present. It is always present. So no one can keep their mind at the future. But we can think about the future at present. But we can think of past at the present. So then your mind is always at the present. That's what you have to understand. There are no any practices to keep our mind at present. because mind is always present. But we can use this Four Noble Truth to purify our mind. But all the corrupted mind, that billion radiant pure mind is corrupted by the lustful, hateful, delusional thought. To seize this lustful, hateful, delusional thought, what we can use is Four Noble Truth. That practice is called as a Satara Satipatthana. Shall we go further more, and then you can understand how it is usage.
So the 4 contemplating stages in Satara Satipatthana, as Hamdru just said on supramundane terms, you have Kaya Anupassana. The laminated part is what is focused here. So will not bodily react with 10 immoral actions through contemplation of Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta. So in Kaya Anupassana, you remove this laminated part. Similarly, Vedana Anupassana means there is a laminated part into it, and sees feelings laminated by lustful, hateful, delusional thoughts, contemplating Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta. Again, Chitta Anupassana is sees Raga, Dvesha, Moha thoughts via contemplation of Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta. So Dhammanupassana means, again, contemplate Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta at Samma Samadhi.
If you give some example to the Kaya Anupassana, if someone warn and some thought comes to you to kill some animal or some people or someone, suppose that as an example, then what you have to do before doing the action, then what you are going to do, you are going to do some immoral action. So before doing this immoral action, you have to keep on thinking, contemplating the Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta. And with the contemplation of the Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta, if you stop, if you cease this killing of the animal, that is called Kaya Anupassana. Then your body, physical body, not used for killing the animal. Why you are not using your body to use this killing of animal? Since this whole world is Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta, why we are killing this animal? What we can get? Nothing can be gained. This all the insatiable suffering are worthless. The worthlessness of the world, that means as a point of gratification, there are no any worth, but there are some usable value in world, but there are no any. If you look at the everything with the gratification side, there are no value. But by using this Four Noble Truth, if you given up, if you cease this killing of animal or any of one of these 10 moral action, that is called Kaya Anupassana. Your body is using for bad things. All these bad things, if you can cease this, all the bad things, then your second Kaya Anupassana, second Kaya. First Kaya is physical body. Physical body, you can't get rid of the physical body. Cessation is nothing, no one can do. But second Kaya mean not a body, that body is using for the bad things, whatever the 10 immoral action. Then, but you can cease this 10 immoral action by using your body. That is called Kaya Anupassana. If you go to the Vedana Anupassana, also same. First Vedana is return. You can't stop. You can't cease that one. But what you can do from the Vedana, there are laminated part. That means you are creation with the help of return by attaching lustfully. If you lustfully attach, there are laminated, amplified pleasure. That part we can cease. Very similarly, thought also, some return thought are there even for the completed one. That means Arahat, even Lord Buddha have thoughts. But thoughts you can stop. But we can stop the lustful, hateful, delusional thought. Those are the creation of this all corruption in our mind. But only mind is purified by the corrupted thought only. Dhamme Dhammanupassana also, some Dhammas are there, you can't stop. That means return. Dosa you can't stop, but there are another Dhamma, it leads to do the some immoral action. That means bad habit. Those things we can, by contemplating anicca dukkha anatta, we can cease those immoral action. This is called supramundane way of practicing the Satara Satipatthana. There are main two types.
So our thoughts are the driving force of our actions. Our thoughts are dictated by our character and habits. That's gati. These character qualities, gati, can be changed with effort. So when a person stops and contemplates the consequences of an action, contemplating Four Noble Truths and anicca dukkha anatta, that one is about to take his moral or immoral and carries out only those actions that have moral consequences, then that person is acting with sati, the good mental factor. So Satara Satipatthana means establishment, training or molding the mind to act with sati. In this training process, we focus on the 5 grasping aggregates, contemplating the 4 categories of anupassana and anicca dukkha anatta. This will mature our thinking to a status of samma sati. This helps us get onto the ladder to reach samma samadhi.
This samma sati or Satara Satipatthana is the gross part of our old lustful, hateful, delusional way of doing speech and thinking. All the cravings of the gross part, that means the gross part of that part we can seize. But at the end, we have to complete the Samma Samadhi. The Samma Samadhi is up to 4th dhyana. That's a finer part of the all of our lustful, hateful, delusional thought. By the dhyana practice, we are used to seize the very fine part of this our or the klesha or lustful, hateful, delusional thought. But from this all the things, there are some very gross part. Those things what we can remove by the Samma Sati or Satara Satipatthana. This is a gross part only we can use the Samma Sati. That's what you have to understand. There are 2 stages.
So think before any action, contemplating anicca dukkha anatta, that means about the insatiability, the noble suffering and valuelessness. So now we move on to the 4 stages of attainment, the milestones of progress. And we've seen this slide before. We were in a state of avidya and ignorance, and now we are slowly getting rid of that by understanding the 4 Noble Truths. So we can start thinking about, and also when we reach the correct understandings, we may move up to become a first stream enterer. And then you progress to the second stream enterer, then to the level of third stream enterer, and then to the arhat status where you will have an enlightened mind leading to the end of suffering. So with the 4 Noble Truths being fully understood, you will slowly start get rid of all your laminated abhisankara related thoughts, whether it's a pleasant sensation or an unpleasant sensation or a neutral sensation. And these laminated sections will slowly start to reduce with your understanding. And then you will enter the second stage and the third stage and the final stage, where you will only have vipaka returns and there'll be no abhisankara related laminated thoughts. And that's the state of an enlightened mind. That's what we are trying to achieve.
In Buddhism, there are 4 stages mentioned in Sovan, Sakadagami, Anagami, Ariyat. To achieve this 4 stages, what we have to keep on thinking, contemplating the 4 noble truth about insatiability, suffering, and worthlessness. Continuously, if you keep on thinking this 4 noble truth, what we can, our lustful, hateful, delusional thought, we can cease little by little. When they are up to come to some stage, then you are become a Sakadagami, second stream enterer, and then again the same thing what you have to do. In Sila Sutta, in Sariputta Thero is explaining, to become a first stream enterer, second stream enterer, third stream enterer, and fourth stream enterer, what you have to contemplate in, and what you have to keep on thinking is all the grasping aggregate. If you can think all the grasping aggregates are insatiable, that is the teaching to become a first stream enterer. Then to become a second stream enterer, what you have to keep on thinking, the same thing. All these grasping aggregates are insatiable. To become a third stream enterer, again, Sariputta Thero is explaining, same thing you have to keep on thinking. Up to enlightened person also, you have to same thing you have to keep on thinking. Then the 4 noble truth is the grasping aggregates are insatiable. The insatiability of grasping aggregate, if someone understood this small principle, then that principle can be used up to your enlightened person or arahat state. This is what we are going to explain here.
So just going into a little bit more detail about the Sotapanna or Sovan stage, that's the first theme enterer. This is a person who has listened to Dhamma and dropped the first 3 fetters, that's the bonds that bind a being to a possible rebirth in lower realms. So here are the 3 fetters. First is the understanding that the laminated and amplified sensations are insatiable, leads to noble suffering, useless, not of any value, or worthless. That's Sakkaya Ditti. Then the next fetter to get rid of is clinging to rites and rituals. That's Silabbada Paramasa. And then the third is skeptical indecision. That's Vichikitsa.
If someone want to become a first stream enterer, he should remove these 3 conditions. But nowadays there is a problem as a Sakkaya Ditti, but whole this world they are taking as a wrong interpretation of the Sakkaya Ditti. The word Sakkaya Ditti, if you want, you can go to the Sakkaya Ditti Pahana Sutta in Samyukta Nikaya. But there in Buddhism, in Tripitaka, the meaning and definition of this Sakkaya Ditti is there in that sutra. But nowadays whole world is taking this as a selflessness. If you understand the selflessness, this is called Sakkaya. This is a wrong interpretation. But real interpretation is, it is in Sakkaya Ditti Pahana Sutra. According to the Sakkaya Ditti Pahana Sutra, I have taken this meaning, but later on we are going to show as with the Tripitaka reference. But since this this Sakkaya Ditti meaning is wrong, then no one can come to that state, because Sakkaya Ditthi is defined as the selflessness. The selflessness is something else, Sakkaya Ditthi is something else. But these all the definitions are in Tripitaka. We are going to show it in later on. So now you just understand. But after understand it, Four Noble Truth, only someone can become a first stream enterer. Then it is very suitable for this introduction as a new introduction of this Sakkaya Ditthi. That terms, the definition of the Sakkaya Ditthi should be changed according to the Tripitaka Sutta, Sakkaya Ditthi Pahana Sutta. Then you can understand this is the correct one. But Sakkaya Ditthi nowadays we are taking as a self vision of the self. It is a wrong interpretation. That's what we have to understand.
So now we will move again to understand a little bit more about the Eightfold Noble Path, the fourth of the Four Noble Truths. Noble Eightfold Path, this is Arya Ashtanga Marga, this encompasses 8 practices that would liberate one from klesha, that's mental corruption. The purpose is to promote wisdom, that's praksha, ethical conduct, that's sila, and mental discipline, that's samadhi. So in
Eight Noble Path is start from the wisdom. If someone understand the Four Noble Truth, then that person know what is this gratification, what's the drawback of this gratification, how escape from this gratification. Then he know the proper wisdom, prajna, to world this world. But in this world, all the beings are run behind the gratification. All the people are, all the persons are, they're looking for gratification. For this, if someone understood that there are some drawback of the gratification as insatiable, then the wisdom is start. Then wisdom means the knowledge of understanding of the knowledge of Four Noble Truth. Then automatically ethical conduct, the sila is implant in his mind. That is not a practice, because this is inbuilt with this. After become a Sotapanna state, he is inbuilt his ethical conduct. Mental discipline also some amount after understanding this Four Noble Truth, he has some samadhi, mental discipline, but with the knowledge of the prajna, he can develop his samadhi, mental discipline. But nowadays that also we have to get the correct definition of the samadhi. In Buddhism, samadhi is the purifying the mind. But nowadays what these all Buddhist peoples are doing, they are try to concentrate into one particular place or something to get the samadhi. But that method is not in Buddhism, not the Lord Buddha's way. Lord Buddha's way is to purify your mind with the lustful, hateful, delusional thought. After become a arahat, you are escape all the, you are cease all the lustful, hateful, delusional thought. Then the samadhi is completed. Even after dhyana, fourth dhyana, samadhi is completed. But at the fourth dhyana, you can walk, stand, sit, lay. At this fourth stage, you can practice the samadhi. But if you are going to focus your mind to one particular place, you can't do those things. But in real Buddhism, practicing something, and nowadays as a Buddhism they are practicing another method. So you have to understand this, the difference between these two category.
So the eightfold path, you have prajna includes right understanding, that samma ditti, and right thought, that samma sankalpa. Then the sila includes right speech, that samma vacha, right action, that samma kammanta, right livelihood, that samma ajiva. Then samadhi includes right effort, samma vayama, right mindfulness, samma sati, and right concentration, samma samadhi. So we'll now try to talk about this a little bit more in detail.
This is also the one thing you have to properly understand the sequence of this eightfold path. At first, samma ditti and samma sankappa is at the first. There are some sutra called Surya Uppama Sutra. There is mentioned samma ditti is the first one, understanding to become a first stream enterer. If someone become a first stream enterer, he should gain this samma ditti first. This samma ditti is the first thing. But nowadays what the people are doing, they are practicing samma samadhi first. That means we have reversed this order. By listening to the Dhamma, you have to gain this Sammaditi. Sammaditi is a knowledge understood by the Dhamma discussion. This is by discussion, not from the meditation. The meditation part is come later on. Sila and Samadhi is the meditation part, but Prajna is by listening to the Dhamma. This also they have taken the wrong manner. In our discussion, we are going to explain the existing one and correct one at one discussion.
So we are trying to now go into more details about prajna, sila, samadhi. Now in prajna, you have two sections, that right understanding, samma ditti, and right sankappa, right thought, that samma sankappa. So right understanding samma ditti means understanding the reality. It is the Four Noble Truths. So samma ditti means envisioning towards distancing from raga, that's attachment, dvesha, that's repulsion, moha, from delusion, led abhisankara, amplified bonding to the five aggregates. By contemplating anicca, insatiability, dukkha, noble suffering, and anatta, futility. Right thought, that samma sankalpa, this denotes the thoughts of dissociating from laminated thoughts, thoughts of love, dissociation from thoughts of violence, which are extended to all beings.
Here what you have to understand, the samma ditti, the main thing is the insatiability and noble suffering and worthlessness. If you just after understanding of this anicca, dukkha, anatta, only you can have a right understanding. The word right mean refers to the anicca, dukkha, anatta. This is the main key three words in Buddhism. But without understanding the anicca, dukkha, anatta, no one can have any right understanding. For that one, you have to listen some Dhamma about Four Noble Truths. By just listening the only we can get the Sammaditi, as I mentioned earlier. The all other Samma Sankappa also, if the word right mean according to the anicca, dukkha, anatta. That's what we have to understand.
So let's now move to Sila. Sila actually results from your Prakya. And you have three sections: right speech, Samma Vacha, right action, Samma Kammanta, and right livelihood, Samma Ajiva. So, right speech, this means abstention from telling lies, from backbiting and slander talk that may bring about hatred, disunity, etc. From harsh, rude, impolite, malicious, and abusive language, from idle, useless, and foolish babble and gossip, while contemplating anicca, dukkha, anatta. So, right action, and this aims at promoting moral, honorable, and peaceful conduct. It admonishes us to abstain from destroying life, from stealing, from dishonest dealings, from illegitimate sexual misconduct, and helping others to lead a peaceful and honorable life in the right way, contemplating anicca, dukkha, anatta. Then we have right livelihood, and this is to abstain from making one's living through a profession that brings harms to others, such as trading in arms, intoxicating drinks or poisons, killing animals, cheating, etc., whilst contemplating anicca, dukkha, anatta.
Here also the main difference between you really a lot of Buddhist devotees know about Samma Vacha, Kammanta and Ajiva. But when you go to the super mundane way of the practicing of this four noble path, really the Sila part is Kaya Anupassana. First of all, this Sila, this your body is used to do this all the things by using the body. So the main difference between in mundane way and super mundane ways, completely anicca, dukkha, anatta is relevant to the super mundane way of this sila. But without this anicca, dukkha, anatta, that means insatiable suffering and worthlessness, you can't get the this noble sila. That means super mundane way of the sila. There are two type of sila. Some is belonging to the mundane way, other is super mundane way. So the main difference is anicca, dukkha. That's what you have to keep on mind.
So finally, we also talk now about samadhi. Samadhi is also includes three sections: right effort, that's samma vayama; right mindfulness, that's samma sati; and right concentration, that's samma samadhi. Now, right effort, this is the energetic will to prevent evil and unwholesome states of mind from arising, to get rid of such evil and unwholesome states that have already risen, to cause to rise good and wholesome states of mind not yet risen, and to develop and bring to perfection the good and wholesome states of mind. The main purpose is to get rid of micchaditi, the wrong view, contemplating anicca, dukkha, anatta. So, right mindfulness is diligent awareness, mindfulness, and attentiveness with regard to the activities of the body, that's kaya, sensation of feelings, vedana, the activities of the mind, sankhara, and ideas, thoughts, conceptions, and things, dhamma. The main purpose is to get rid of asada and all klesha, contemplating anicca, dukkha, and anatta. The right concentration is samma samadhi. Right concentration refers to meditation practice, lokottara meditation, contemplating anicca, dukkha, anatta. This leads to the 4 stages of dhyana.
Here also this all samma vayam and samma sati you know already. In this samadhi discussion, the right concentration, Samma Samadhi is main important thing. To achieve this Samma Samadhi, that means you have to complete the fourth up to fourth dhyana. First dhyana, second dhyana, fourth dhyana, that fourth dhyana we have to complete. Then your Samma Samadhi is complete. To go to that Samma Samadhi, you have to contemplate contemplate the Anicca Dukkha Anatta. There are some karmasana called, we have to chant in this karmasana, and then you can go to the Samma Samadhi. When you go to Samma Samadhi, your mind is totally purified. That all the impurities, corrupted portion of the things and laminated part is you have already ceased, and then at the Samma Samadhi, your mind is very radiant mind. That means pure mind. To come to that state, you have to complete seven part of this eightfold path. After completing the first seven only, then you can go to the eighth one. That means Samma Samadhi. This is the gradually you have to practice by understanding the Four Noble Truth. We can keep one by one up to first, second, third, fourth, seven, and eighth one. Last one is the Samma Samadhi. We can divide this meditation part to a two portion. One is practicing the dhyana. Other thing is Satara Satipatthana. To complete that Satara Satipatthana, some may gain 6 months, 1 year, 2 year maybe. But without completing the Satara Satipatthana, you can't sit and do the meditation and get the dhyana. Because when you are going to get the dhyana means your final part of the corruption in mind, you are trying to remove. But if you have a very big gross part, then first of all you have to remove all the gross part. So that's why Satara Satipatthana you have to practice before the doing the dhyana. The sequence is very important unless you are unable to get the dhyana. So unless you can try, then if someone can't get the dhyana, then you have to again go to the Satara Satipatthana and practice. Then while Satara Satipatthana practice and do the dhyana, then when one day you can get the dhyana.
So we are now focusing on Lokottara Noble Eightfold Path, and we learn what it is, and that's the supramundane pathway. And we are now moving to talk about the role of meditation. Now, this is the meditation or Arya Bhavana. To be successful, you have several steps to follow, as was briefed by Thero just now. So you have to have dasanena pahatabba, clear vision by understanding anicca dukkha anatta. You have to have sanvarena pahatabba, that is disciplined use of the sense faculties. Then you have to patisevana pahatabba, association with good friends and good deeds. Then adhisavana pahatabba, tolerance and patience. Parivajana pahatabba, staying clear of bad influences and environment. Vinodana pahatabba, dissociate from bad thoughts that come to mind. Then bhavana pahatabba, that's meditation to achieve 4 trances and purify mind and understand what to contemplate. So if you're not successful in getting dhyana trances, then scrutinize above steps again and try to rectify to be successful.
This is what I explain in at the Eightfold Path explanation, when you are explaining the Eightfold Path. In this is someone discourse sutta called Sabbasa Sutta. In Sabbasa Sutta also, they have divided this eightfold path into 7 categories. These 7 categories very similar to the eightfold path. The eightfold path is eightfold path, and the Sabbasa Sutta, there are 7 steps. These 7 steps and the 8 steps are both the same. But at the end of the this story, what you have to have a Samma Samadhi. So same thing in different way they have explained these things.
So now we will try to talk a little bit about the role of meditation. Now, this is one slide that summarizes everything that we've learned so far over the 4 sessions, and then how to proceed. Now, we talked about our mind, which is unpolluted at the beginning. And that's called a Prabhashvara mind. And most of us are quite used to living this Kama Bhumi. So you get continuously, those thoughts get bonded with Raga, Dvesha or Moha. And then these recurring mundane thoughts is the way we are predisposed to. And then that leaves up to live in this environment of Kama Bhumi. That is, your mind will live in this environment. So the downgrading of your mind to this level is because of this Vitarka Vichara. Now, the supramundane thoughts, so if you can include supramundane thoughts, like we're trying to learn, and then engage in meditation to get your focus into Savitarka Savichara, that's what we've learned, then we will see our progress in various jhana levels. And hopefully, at least temporarily, our mind will come into a state of an unpolluted situation. So this is a very big part of teaching in a very one summary slide. So we understand a little bit about the role of meditation.
This is, I think, very good summary we have created. This radiant mind is polluted by this lustful, hateful, delusional thought and come to the Kama Bhumi. Then lot of lay persons side Kama Bhumi, after understanding of the Four Noble Truth, they are become first stream enterer. Then he know that the insatiability of this gratification. Then if someone is keep on thinking, that will contemplating this anicca dukkha anatta of the about the gratification, then you are ceasing this gratification. When you are ceasing this gratification, little by little you are go to the first dhyana. At the first dhyana, lust is not there. The before that you practice the Satara Satipatthana to get rid of the all the gross level of this all the klesha. That means all corrupted mind, the gross one, very heavy one, you are removed at the Satara Satipatthana, Dvesha and all things. Then at the first dhyana, your lust is not there. Then you are again keep on practicing this karmasthana. The meaning of karmasthana is the insatiability of gratification. So then when you keep on chanting and mindful of about the karmasthana, then you go to the second dhyana, third dhyana, fourth dhyana. At the fourth dhyana, you are no delusion. That means you are come to the pure prabhasara mind. That means unpolluted mind, a radiant mind. But radiant mind is polluted by lustful, hateful, delusion. But by removing these all things, you are again go to the billion radiant mind. At the radiant mind, prabhasara mind, then you can again go. Now you are very pure mind. Then you are very sharp. You can think anything with the very high intense. That means when you are in a Kama Bhumi, you can't think of any Four Noble Truth or any Anicca Dukkha or anything. But if you go to the little by little the fourth dhyana, then your mind is very pure. Then you can analyze, you can review your Dhamma properly. By reviewing and analyzing the anicca dukkha anatta, insatiability of anicca dukkha anatta, suffering and worthlessness very deep at the fourth dhyana, then you can get the sakadagami, anagami, ariyat. That means second stream and the third stream and the fourth stream and the. So that is the path given in the eightfold path in Mahachattari Sakasutta. In Majjhima Nikaya, Mahachattari Sakasutta, they have mentioned that there are 10 items in the eightfold path. Two is Samma Jnana Vimukti. That means at the end you can totally understand this Samma Jnana and Vimukti and become a fourth stream enterer or enlightened person. So this is the in brief, if we take the everything what we explained up to now.
So, as usual, we welcome all your comments, suggestions, and feedback. Please to the Arya Dhamma Meditation Group email. And the Q&A will follow after Thero's discussion and the discourse. And the questions, as usual, can be raised via the Zoom chat function or by raising the hand or via the YouTube. So before the Q&A, Abhaya Thero will do, as usual, a discourse in a continuously to implement a proper vision on the subject of today. This will be the core teachings on the creation of gratification, that's asada, the true meaning of drawback, adinava, and the methods of escape, nisarana, with Tripitaka references. So we will just, as usual, take a 5-minute break, and then we'll listen to Thero's discourse.
Can you hear me, Mali? Can you hear me?
Samudhrani, loud and clear.
Okay, now we are going to explain that up to now we have explained a lot of slides to explain this Dhamma, but you may have some problems that whether the what we are explaining is in Tripitaka or not. To sort out that problem, I will show that Tripitaka reference. The born mind is radiant. That means Upan Sita Prabhasara Bhava. That means at the beginning the mind is pure, not the any corruptions. Can you read?
The born mind is radiant. Upansita Prabhasara Bhava.
Second slide is there.
It's not moving. The second slide is not moving. I think it's got stuck on your end, I think.
Amdurani, if you could click on the second slide from the top left-hand corner, it'll get highlighted.
I think if you go to, I can see in your screen right at the bottom, your marker is there for the screen display. So if you just tick that, this will expand. That's better. I think if you go to the right one now, then you can.
Now can you see?
Yeah. Is this the second slide now?
Yeah.
Okay, this is from Anuguttara Nikaya. This mind, medicans, is radiant, but it is corrupted by passing corruptions. An uneducated ordinary person does not truly understand this. So I say that the uneducated ordinary person has no pure mind meditation, development of the mind. This mind, medicans, is radiant, and it is freed from passing corruptions. An educated, noble disciple truly understands this. So I say that the educated, noble disciple has pure mind meditation, development of the mind. If a medicant cultivates a mind of love, even for the time of a finger snap, they are called a medicant who does not lack absorption, who follows the teacher's instructions, who responds to advice, and who does not eat the country's aims in vain. How much more so those who make much of it?
Really, this is in Tripitaka. The first thing is in Pali, second is in Sinhala. Now this is come to the English. When you are translating the Pali script, whatever the things in Pali, it is not properly come to the English. So in if you read the in Sinhala, if you read, there are some Sutavat Asava Chitta Bhavana Atai Kiyami. But word this Chitta Bhavana, it is not in English translation. So I add this in red color, this pure mind meditation. Pure mind meditation means Chitta Bhavana. Because there are no, it's very difficult to find some one word in English to Chitta Bhavana like the things. So pure mind meditation is for the mendicant who understand the Four Noble Truth. In here, this mind is radiant. You can see this if you see this discourse. the mind is radiant. But the educated normal discipline means that the person who come to the stream mentor, first stream mentor or second stream mentor or third or fourth stream mentor. So that just after understand the Four Noble Truth only, he know that our mind is a radiant one, but later on it is corrupted by the lustful, hateful, delusional thought. So then we can seize that lustful, hateful, delusional thought and keep our pure mind as pure. Then if someone is try to do these things, this is called pure mind meditation. So this is the very important concept in Buddhism. The first thought is radiant and pure.
So again in Anuttara Nikaya says, medicants, whatever qualities are unskillful, part of the unskillful, on the side of the unskillful, all of them are preceded by the mind. Mind arises first, and unskillful qualities follow right behind. Medicants, whatever qualities are skillful, part of the skillful, on the side of the skillful, all of them are preceded by the mind. Mind arises first, and skillful qualities follow right behind.
In this part of this discourse is mentioned, the mind arises first. That means pure mind, that radiant mind, pure mind is arise first. Then only unskillful or skillful qualities are follow right behind. Then later on, unskillful quality or skillful quality. That unskillful quality means 10 immoral action or some raga desha action. Those thoughts are come later, but at first the mind is pure one. For this, everything reinforces our idea the born mind is pure or radiant.
The born mind is radiant, but it corrupts later.
That you have to understand with the Tripitaka reference also. Then
creation of the gratification, that's asade nirmane vana ayuru.
How this gratification create, what are the Tripitaka reference that we can show it to you about the creation of this asada.
So this is from Samyutta Nikaya 22. Medicants, before my awakening, when I was still not awake, but intent on awakening, I thought, what's the gratification, the drawback, and the escape when it comes to form?
Before that, Lord Buddha become enlightenment, he has done some experiment. That this is about this experiment. What is this gratification? What's the drawback and how to escape? So then, in this discourse, all the how this gratification create, what the drawback, what the escape, clearly mentioned in this discourse.
The form and utilization of form for lust, hate, and delusions. Rupaha, rupasa.
When you go to the 5 aggregate, there are form. The form and utilization of the form for the lust, hate, delusion is different. But for these things, in Pali, they are using 2 words, rupa and rupasa. The rupa means form. The word rupa means form. The rupasa means that the forms are used to create the lustful, hateful, delusional thought. If someone, suppose that some flower is there, if someone is attached to this one with the lustfully attached, then for him it is a rupasa. That means that form is lustfully utilized for their use. So these two words wrongly translate to the English and Sinhala. I will show you in this discourse. If you go to this Pali section, Rupang Paticca Uppajita Sukang Somanasang Ayang Rupasa. Then here Rupa, here Rupasa. Rupa and Rupasa is different word. Ayang Rupasa Asada. The Ayang Rupasa Asada mean Rupa is used with lustful. Rupasa mean Rupa Asa. That means Rupa used with lustful, hateful, delusional thought. If you consider about lust, you consider this the gratification creating this here Rupa, here Rupasa. But if you the top part of this one is a single translation. For the single translation also, it is not properly translated. Here also Rupa Rupang Rupa Nisayam Soyak Somnasak Upadida may Rupayagi Asadhyai. This here it should be changed. May Rupayage Raga Desha Rupe Raga Pariharne Ashwadhyai. This should be changed. This is not the Rupayage Asadhyai. Rupaya, if someone used with lust, if these forms are used with lust only, that asada create. That's why the two different words are used in Rupa and Rupasa.
So then it occurred to me, the pleasure and happiness that arise from form, this is its gratification. That form is impermanent, suffering, and perishable. This is its drawback. Removing and giving up desire and greed for form, this is its escape.
In this discourse, gratification, drawback, and escape, two things are there. All together they have explained, but we are taking one by one how this gratification create. If you go to the pleasure and happiness that arise from form. That form means there are visual form, from eye sound, from nose smell, taste, and whatever the touch and everything. All the forms. There are 6 forms. It is gratification. So here we have to change something. If you go to the Pali, Rupam Paticca Uppajita Sukang Somanasang Ayang Rupe Asada. But this Rupasa word, they didn't translate properly. There's a mistranslation, the Rupasa. But I propose that this is a corrected one by me. I change this one little bit. The pleasure and happiness that arise from form, that is gratification, which create lust, hate, and delusion used in the form. For that, it is very difficult to find a one word for the Rupasa. The word Rupasa means forms used for lustful action. If someone used the one form for the lustful some action, it is called Rupasa. The similar one word is very good to find a one word in English, but we have to get the idea. This is the original Tripitaka discourse I kept first, and this is the correction to that. So you have to keep on you could think whether this is okay or not. This is up to you to understand this or not. But there are some mistranslation, so you have to correct those things. This is one translation error. creation of gratification. Here also, when the creation of gratification in Pali called Rupam Paticca Uppajjati. The word Paticca have translated as arise. Is somewhat little okay, but there are some other words also we can use, that attach, bond, link, weld, chase. These all the words we can use as a paticca. Paticca mean bond, attach as you wish. If you attach, only that gratification create. If you attach lustfully, that happiness creates. If you attach hatefully, you create the very burning sensation. That means unpleasant one. That pleasant and unpleasant is depends on how you attach. That means according to the paticca. Paticca means attach. The way you are attached. That these all the words we can use to as a arise. This is another thing. Rupa. Rupa means form. Other word is rupasa. The form is called rupa, but for rupasa, there are very difficult to find a one word in English. The creation of lust, hate, and delusion by using the form. If you are using any form, that means like suppose that some car, you like to that one, you attach with that car, then for you that is the rupasa. That form create the lust in your mind. So in that kind of things called rupasa. That means form used for lustful and hateful and delusional thought. That what you understand. But Pali Tripitaka, they are when they are translating, they are make some mistake. The rupasa and rupa as the same word. So this is what you have to understand. If you go to Google and search gratification, this you can get very mundane type meaning, not a super mundane type. For this all the word there are mundane meaning and super mundane meaning. If you Google meaning for the gratification, is pleasure, especially when gaining from the satisfaction of desire. A thirst of sexual gratification, satisfaction, fulfillment, indulgence, relief, quenching, slay, satiation, appeasement. Then there are lot of meanings given by the Google, but these things and our super mundane meaning, there may be some little difference, but it is a deeper meaning. The gratification, the pleasure and happiness created by lustful intention. So that type of very deep meaning we have to think in super mundane way. The type of attachment in Samyukta Nikaya for Pahana Sutta, there are
in Samyukta Nikaya, because there are these three feelings. What three? Pleasant feeling, painful feeling, neither painful nor pleasant feeling. The underlying tendency to lust should be abundant in regard to pleasant feeling. The underlying tendency to aversion should be abundant in regard to painful feeling. The underlying tendency to ignorance should be abundant in regard to neither painful nor pleasant feeling. Pleasant feeling is lust, painful feeling is aversion, neither painful nor pleasant feeling is ignorance.
This is what we use when we are explaining in slide. We got these three concepts. These three concepts in Pahana Sutta in Samyutta Nikaya. This is what we want to show. This is the Tripitaka reference for this. How that pleasant feeling is attached with lustful, painful feeling is lustful, hateful aversion. Neutral feeling is born with ignorance. From this sutta, we took that reference. This is what we want to show. This is the same thing what we explain in our presentation also. What we got from the Pahana Sutta, it is very briefly mentioned. Pleasant feeling, lustful, greed, chase, pursue, obsess, addict. Where we use a lot of different word here, because for the same thing, painful feeling, aversion, hateful, anger, again strong dislike, or this type of whatever the word you can use for the anger or the negative side of the feelings. For the neutral feeling, ignorance, delusion, lack of knowledge of the Four Noble Truth. But we can expand this all one word to the some different type of word. If you go to the Google and search there or some dictionary, you can get some lot of word for the lust, greed. The word lust mean not very any narrow meaning. This is for 6 faculties. In the 6 faculties, lust is there. So broad vision of this word we have to take as a reference to understand this deep philosophy. This is the briefing of the whatever the we. So this above portion is we explained up to now. The word paticca mean translated as arise, but this paticca it can be taken in a better way. The attachment, bond, link, and weld. The arise also somewhat okay, but more than that one, attach, bond, link, weld. These words are more suitable than the arise. According to your knowledge, you can use either from these one of these words. This is the main important thing, the drawback of the gratification. This is the earlier part. Here also, when you go to the drawback, if you got the Pali part, yang rupang anichang dukkang viparinama dhammang ayang rupasa adinava. Here also, yang rupang anichang dukkang viparinama dhammang ayang rupasa adinava, not a rupa adinava. Here you have to understand, not a rupa adinava, rupasa adinava. That rupasa adinava means rupa used for the lustful, hateful, delusional law. They are corrupted mind. If we are using the rupa in corrupted mind, this is called rupasa. This word also strongly translate into Sinhala and English. That's what you have to make correct. I have corrected as I understand. Here is some another wrong translation. Anicca. If you go to this discourse, so anicca dukkha viparinama dhamma. This all the gratifications are anicca. Iccha mean wish. Anicca mean opposite of that one. That mean anicca mean we are explaining this one very deeply in later stage, but this impermanent word impermanent you have to change to the insatiable. In Pali here you can say anicham. Icham mean wish, anicham mean opposite of that one. Not fulfill your requirement, not the way you like. All these gratifications are not the way you like. This you have to. This is the drawback of this asada. The word the drawback is not about the form. The usage of form with lustful, hateful, delusional thought, that's the drawback of the drawback we have to take as a insatiability. So here I corrected that discourse as, can you read this one?
Okay, then it occurred to me the pleasure and happiness that arise from form due to attached of desire and greed. This is gratification. That form is insatiable, suffering, and perishable. This is its drawback of the creation of lust, hate, and delusion by using the form, removing and giving up desire and greed for form. This is its escape.
This is the correction what we made for this the red color letters we have inserted with the correction. The impermanent you have to change the insatiable. Here also rupasa, the word rupasa mean the creation of lust, hate and delusion by using this form. That if some form is used to lustful, hateful, delusional with the thought, then only then that part only we can cease. But when you go to the escape, then when someone become a arahat, that means enlightened person, then he don't have any lustful, hateful, delusional thought, but all the forms are there, visual form, audible form, that from 6 senses, this all the form he can't escape. He can escape only lustful, hateful, delusional thought. If you read this, removing and giving up desires and greed for form. Here this is very clearly mentioned. Only we can given up the desire and greed, not the form. Then the form, if so forms are using with desire and greed, it is called rupasa. So that word mistranslate to English and Sinhala both, because if you take as a rupa nirodha, then you have to get rid of the rupa, but you can't get rid of the rupa. You can given up removing the desire and greed. That's only we can remove. That you have to understand little by little. Drawback of gratification, anicca, nowadays they are taken as impermanent, but that anicca we have to change in insatiable. Can you read this all this word?
So anicca is not impermanent. Anicca should be read as insatiable. Insatiable of an appetite or desire, impossible to satisfy. An insatiable hunger for success of a person having an insatiable appetite or desire for something, especially sex. Synonyms: unquenchable, unappeasable, uncontrollable, voracious, prodigious, gluttonous, greedy, hungry, ravenous, ravening, wolfish, avid, eager, keen, never satisfied, unable to be satisfied.
These are the even Google meaning also. This insatiable word insatiable is mentioned like this. So if you consider about the gratification, The drawback of the gratification is up to now we all Buddhist literature it mentioned as impermanent. It's a wrong translation. Insatiable is the more suitable word I propose. So you can, without just taking, you think what is the good one and what's the correct one, and then you can later on understand. There are some, because if you take if everything is impermanent, there are a lot of contradiction. I'll show this all the contradiction with Tripitaka reference later on. Up to now, this word can be changed anicca as a insatiable.
The escape of gratification.
Here also that same problem is there. When you go to the your rupasmin chandaraga vinayo chandaraga pahano idang rupasa nisarana, not a rupa nisarana, rupasa nisarana. The word rupasa means all the rupa, that means forms are using with lustful, hateful, delusion, thought. Because that's only we can remove, cease. So the word rupasa have been wrongly translated into English and Sinhala.
Then it occurred to me, the pleasure and happiness that arise from form due to attachment with desire and greed, this is its gratification. That form is impermanent, suffering, and perishable. This is its drawback. Removing and giving up desire and greed for form, this is its escape.
Yeah, when you go to escape from the form, you can escape the desire and greed, not the form. So then you can understand when you go to escape, you have to think of rupasa, not a rupa. You can't get rid of the rupa. You can given up desire and greed. The desire and greed. If someone is using with desire and greed, this is called not a rupa, this is a rupasa. The forms is used for the lustful, hateful, delusional thought. Then this correction, you have to make correct this, all the correction. This is a correction.
Means, then it occurred to me, the pleasure and happiness that arise from form due to attachment or desire and greed, this is its gratification. That form is impermanent, suffering, and perishable. This is its drawback. Removing, giving up desire and greed for form, this is escape from creating of lust, hate, and delusion by using the form.
Yeah. The here word impermanent, you have to change as insatiable. Then this correction, you don't just get that as it is. You keep on thinking and analyze and review, and if it is suitable for you, then you can take. It's not a pleasure. This is only explanation. This is my explanation. So you can think of the new explanation.
The escape of gratification, removing and giving up desire and greed for form. This is its escape. Greedy intention is a person's sensual pleasure. Kama sadhya sankalpita bhava. Among humans, there are no sensual pleasures that are permanent. Here, there are desirable things, bound to which, drunk on which, there is no coming back. That person doesn't return here from death's domain. Misery is born of desire. Suffering is born of desire. When desire is removed, misery is removed. When misery is removed, suffering is removed. The world's pretty things aren't sensual pleasures. Greedy intention is a person's sensual pleasure. The world's pretty things stay just as they are, but a sage removes desire from them.
From this discourse, very important message is given to you. There are a lot of pretty, very beautiful things are there in the world, but those are not the sensual pleasure. But greedy intention is person sensual pleasure. This greedy intention is within your mind. Then there's a mental fabrication. That's why we are getting this. All these gratifications are all the sensual pleasure. That means gratifications are create not only a mental fabrication due to the bad volition, the lustful volition, lustful mental fabrication. So it is in mind, not given by the external world. The world pretty things we have to keep as it is, and we can get rid of the greedy intention to remove this all suffering, misery, and everything. So the nowadays the peoples are fighting with the some pretty beautiful with the things, but things are not the matter. You are greedy and lust, hate, delusion. These are the things you have to get rid of, cease. This is all things are mental fabrication. That is why we are taking this as a lamination one, the amplified one. This is a mental fabrication. That part only we can cease. This is a very important discourse in the Nasanti Sutta. Is a very important discourse in the Tripitaka.
So gratification is a mentally fabricated sensual pleasure created by the greedy intention. Kamasadya sankalpite. Multiple meaning for noble suffering. Arya Dukketa Adivachana. Majjhima Nikaya, householder, you look like someone who is not in their right mind. Your faculties have deteriorated. And how, sir, could my faculties not have deteriorated? For my dear and beloved only child has passed away. Since their death, I haven't felt like working or eating. I go to the cemetery and wail. Where are you, my only child? Where are you, my only child? That's so true, householder. That is so true, householder. For our loved ones are a source of sorrow, lamentation, pain, sadness, and distress. Sir, who on earth could ever think such a thing? For our loved ones are a source of joy and happiness. Disagreeing with the Buddha's statement, rejecting it, he got up from his seat and left.
This is also very important discourse in the Tripitaka. But all of these lay persons are thinking that loud one are the source of joy and happiness. But the thing is, at the end of the either passed away, or either with the accident, or with this one on whatever the problem, really the loud one are the source of suffering, lamentation, pain, sadness, and distress, and all the miseries are come to with the loved one. So if you think the loved one is there, you can't you don't destroy him. But if that person is there, if you can get rid of seeds of lust about him, then your suffering can end. The suffering is due to the greedy attachment. If you detach with the greedy attachment by thinking of the insatiability of this all gratification, then you can cease this all the suffering and misery and everything. But there are some our wisdom should be thoroughly about the insatiability of this gratification. Then with the loved one, what you are trying to gain? Happiness and pleasure. That means gratification. So it is not given by that person. The person you have to keep as it is. You don't destroy him, but you have to destroy. You have to get rid of. You have to cease your attachment. The attachment creates all this suffering. This is a very good example for this Piyajatika Sutra.
So from Anguttara Nikaya again, Americans, danger, fear is a term for sensual pleasures, suffering, disease, boil, dart, tie, bog, womb are terms for sensual pleasures. And why is danger, fear a term for sensual pleasures? Someone who is caught up in sensual greed and shackled by lustful desire is not freed from dangers in the present life or in lives to come. That is why danger is a term for sensual pleasures.
For sensual pleasure, that means karma, there are a lot of different words. For sensual pleasure, in Buddhism, they are using as a danger. But in Pali, Abhaya anu karma, the Abhaya means fear. But word fear have been translated as a danger, but that's why I within bracket I put in different color. This is my change. This fear, the fear, suffering, disease, boil, dart, tie, bog. This different type words they are using for the sensual pleasure. So these words in some another discourse, if you while you are using some another discourse, that the sensual pleasure is named as disease. The disease, roga. That's why when you go to the metta meditation, this word is very important. When you get rid of the disease, word disease, that means not the disease. There's a hidden meaning. You have to get rid of the sensual pleasure. If any discourse is mentioned, if you have to try to abandon boil, that means you have to think, you have to abandon the sensual pleasure. That if you have to get rid of the fear or danger, that means you have to get rid of the sensual pleasure. This sensual pleasure is the different multiple meaning for the each and everything. So karma is not a karma is mentioned in different type word. Same thing, different type word used to explain that same thing. I think this is the end of this our Tripitaka reference today. In the earlier part of this our presentation, we got some principles and lot of things. So these all the things are in Tripitaka. What in my part I am explaining, that whatever the things we use in presentation, those are in Tripitaka. So you can if someone want to any clarification, you can go to the Tripitaka refer the Tripitaka, and then you can get the correct meaning, and whatever the things we explaining, if there is any thing you can't understand or you can can't agree, then you can come with the next session in Q&A. Then we can explain as we understood the Dhamma, we can explain. Okay, well, then we can go to the next part. You can start the Q&A part.
Okay, Hamdurani. The first question we've got today is from Philip. Can we cancel out all the bad karma by doing good merits? Buddha was suffering from some body pains till the end of his life due to this past karma, if I remember it correctly.
Yeah, that is correct. What he is explaining correct. You can't cancel out all the past karma return. Karma return, you can't cease or you can't cancel out everything. But lot of things we can make change, not everything. When you explain, we explain some of these. Some of these we can do, not all things. But what you have to do, you can cease all the new karma creation. The the return you can't stop. The returns after become a arahat also, after become an enlightened person also, karma returns are come. Returns you can't stop, but you can stop the new karma. Creation of the new karma you can stop by ceasing the avidya, ignorance, lustful, hateful, illusion of thought. Those are the things that creating the karma. The new karma you can cease, but you can't cease the karma return. You can't cancel all the things, but some we can do with the some remedy. Either we are going to do meditation, some doing some yoga and giving dana, and there are a lot of rituals. By doing these rituals you can get cancel some of these things, not all.
Right. Next question is from Derek. When we listen to a nice song or eating something we like continuously, initially we get gratification. And after repeating a few times, we lose gratification. Please explain the above example using Udayavaya.
First of all, you have to understand how that gratification create. There's a delusion. What the delusion? When you listen to some song, you are thinking that songs have some gratification. But if that songs have some gratification, when you keep on listening to several times, you should cultivate lot of gratification, asada. But when you keep on listen same thing, it is decaying. Why is this decay? The gratification decay. Your delusion is decay. That decay is decaying little by little. Come to that's called viparinama. The word viparinama.
It's decaying, Hamdran.
Decay, yeah. That gratification decaying little by little. So so that is the so if that songs have some gratification, we can cultivate the gratification. Since it's a mental fabrication, when you keep on listening, what the without knowing the foreknowable to Toso, that is the nature of the this universe, this asad world. The all the asadas are gradually decay. But what you are trying to do, since one is after decaying one thing with the gratification, you change to another one. But the same delusion is used for another song. But that song is now it has not any gratification. Now so the new one comes. So this is a very good one. Very similar, not only for songs or eating or anything, for each and everything. So since this gratification is a mental fabrication, not a real thing, so that's why it is go decay. But after become arahat, that means your delusion is zero, no delusion. Then the world is taste as it is, without any delusion. So then that decaying part of this gratification is no, because you are not creating the gratification. So gratification is created within your mind, and you are trying to gain from the forms, either the five aggregate. The five aggregate, it doesn't any gratification. So since this is like finding water from mirage, that is why it is not satisfying. So only the try to satisfy these things, or you are try to satisfy. When the gratification comes, you are try to satisfy. Then this try is very hard. So when then it's gradually decay. Then at the end you gain nothing, because whatever the gratification you feel, the sensual pleasure what you feel, that also mental fabrication, not given by the object. That's why from beginning we are explaining it is not given by this five aggregate. This the physical world, they don't have anything. Everything in mental fabrication. That's why I showed that Nasanti Sutta, Nasanti discourse, that they are mentioned. All the pretty beautiful world is you have to keep as it is, and you have to get rid of the greed of that one. Greed for that one. So greed is the things create the gratification. Greed is not in within the beautiful things. It is in mental. It is mental things, mental fabrication. Greed is in mind. So that is the delusion. Since this gratification created by delusion, that's why it is decaying day by day. So we have to get rid of these things, seize these things. That's the only thing we can do. Nothing can we do.
The next question is regarding, well, the person says she knows how to get rid of the Pancha Upadana Skandha when she reaches a dhyana. But what she doesn't understand is how this technology works when you go above and beyond, because now she can get rid of the Pancha Upadana Skandha temporarily, but she wants to know the technology to get rid of it permanently. Meka tadangama vishkambana prahane gana thamai man hitane ahanne.
Yeah. When the people are in day-to-day life, if he or she is not in a dhyana, after becoming first stream mentor, this all the Buddhist teachings are after understand the first stream mentor. That means Sotapanna. That means then he know about this gratification, how to create gratification and what the drawback and how to escape, and then he know everything. Then after he know, after he understand the Four Noble Truth, then if he is not practicing the dhyana, that means he is always in the kama bhumi. Kama bhumi is sensual pleasure. You are in sensual world. That means you are in corrupted mind, always in corrupted mind. You are creating at the beginning you are created with the radiant mind and go to the corruption. Radiant mind and corruption. The radiant mind not keep as radiant. The radiant mind is corrupted with the lustful, hateful, delusional thought. Then that's why it's called kama bhumi. Then with in the kama bhumi, you can't do any analysis or review of the Dhamma. Because when you are in kama bhumi, without first dhyana, that means your mind is always with the lustful, hateful, delusion, full of lustful, hateful, delusional thought. Even though your mind is start with the non-polluted, pure mind, radiant mind, it is just within a couple of seconds come to the polluted mind. So then you want some stage to do analysis and review that the insatiability and all these Four Noble Truths. To get that state, that means the pure mind, you are practicing the dhyana. At the first dhyana, there are no lust. So before that, before go to the first dhyana, you are practicing the Satara Satipatthana, mindfulness. When you are doing the mindfulness, gross part of all these cravings, greed and hateful, delusional thought and action and everything you can cease. Those parts are not with the dhyana. Before go to the dhyana, all the gross part, that means very heavy part of the lust and hate, you have to give up. Unless when you keep on chanting the karmasthana, your mind will not release. It is very gross level. You can't do the fine tune your mind. So after doing some Satara Satipatthana practice around at least 6 months, 4 months, 3 months, then you can go to the dhyana. Then when you are go to the dhyana, at the first dhyana, no lust is at the first dhyana. If you go to the fourth dhyana, no delusion. Then at the fourth dhyana, your radiant mind, pure mind is there. Then there you don't have any hindrance, 5 hindrances are not there. So it is very, very easy for you to keep on analyzing, keep on reviewing according to this Four Noble Truth. Whatever your problem, you can analyze with the Four Noble Truth. That is called Udevaya Jnana. How this gratification create, how this Sankara Dukkha, Dukkha Dukkha, Viparnama Dukkha create, and how to seize these things. What is the importance of this world? Why we are living? What's the purpose of our life? All the purpose of our life is to gain, harvest some gratification. There are no gratification in the world. Even if the richest person in the world, you have enough money, vehicle, land, whatever the things you have, but even though he is not satisfied still, he is still finding something. If you go around and ask from the richest person in the world, are you satisfied? You are all his sex senses and everything satisfied? No, nothing. Even there, now also even he is still collecting something to satisfy his 6 senses. That's only that he can do. But all these things we have to analyze, review at the fourth dhyana. If you can't go to the fourth dhyana, either at the first dhyana, second dhyana, or whatever the dhyana you can do, you go to up to that point and keep on analyzing. Because in Tripitaka, there are a lot of sutras, not only at the first fourth dhyana, even at the first dhyana, second dhyana, fourth dhyana, you can keep on analyzing this insatiability, suffering, and worthlessness, and Four Noble Truth. You can keep on practicing. The same thing we have to practice at the fourth dhyana. Why it is the fourth dhyana is very important? You don't have any lustful, hateful, delusional thought. Then your mind is very pure. With the pure mind, you can do very sharp analyze, very deep analysis, reviewing. So then you can given up the permanently. But there are two stages. It is mentioned in eightfold path. Samma Samadhi is fourth dhyana. Then after go to the fourth dhyana, Samma Jnana Vimukti, there are another two steps are there. Within that two stage, what you can do, you can see your past life. For now, you know that all the everything is according to the Paticca Now you just understand something. So all the jatis are created according to the Paticca. But this knowledge is only a listen knowledge, not in practical knowledge. To complete this knowledge by doing the practical, you can go to the fourth dhyana and see of your past life. Then you can understand, okay, we had some past life. Other thing is, there are some another wisdom. You can go to the fourth dhyana, and if someone after death, how his rebirth, reincarnation, then those things you can see, either if you have that ability. Other thing is, you can do the Udevaya Jnana. Udevaya Jnana means how this gratification create, how this gratification cease. That knowledge is called as Udevaya Jnana. So the fourth dhyana is very important to understand temporarily you can cease all the lustful, hateful, delusional thoughts. Then your mind is very pure. Then within the pure mind at fourth dhyana, then you can do all the analysis. That's why we are practicing. Then you can permanently remove this lustful, hateful, delusional thought. Because the platform is very important. Without platform, you can't do that one. That's why Attakanagar Sutra is mentioning this all the concepts.
Okay, the next question is from another person who's practicing meditation. He says, when I start meditation, I know I can reach the first dhyana. I'm not sure whether I reach the second dhyana or third dhyana, but I get light, but it's not stable. So at times I feel I'm in first dhyana with light, or sometimes I feel I'm in fourth dhyana. It's not stable. It comes and goes, but it's not stable. In one of your programs, I heard that there could be a problem with one of my chakras. How do I identify which chakra is blocked? And is there a way to find it out myself? Thero Saranai.
Yeah, you can go to the Google and type the chakra test. Then some websites are come with that. There are some 50 number of questions. You have to answer to these questions. We have to tick the answer and submit. Then results comes. In that result sheet, there are some graphical forms that you are, whatever the chakra, how much you are open, how much close, and how much block. According to the this chakra test, you can get the results. But even though after understanding of these results, you have to practice the Satara Satipatthana to clean these things. Doesn't matter, you try to get that chakra test, and then according to your problem you have to keep on practicing the your mind, because this all the things within your mind, not in external world, but to get the some idea of what is your problem. With the chakra test you can get some idea.
Question is also from the same person. So if I know which chakra is blocked, how could I get them cleaned?
After finding the chakra, according to the chakra, then I have done some chakra lecture, some Dhamma discussion about this chakra. There I showed some chart. Suppose that if you have blocked the throat chakra, then according to the third throat chakra, they are given some words how this throat chakra is blocked. If you are telling lie and you are doing the wrong word, then that's why this chakra is blocked. Likewise, according to the 7 chakra, they have given the reason to block this chakra. Then you can identify which chakra block, the reason to block this chakra. Then this reason it is in your mind, not in physical body. Due to this blockages in mind, that all this chakra has blocked. The problem is in mind. There is a cause. Main cause is in mind. As a result of this cause, that chakra has blocked. After finding which chakra is broken, according to that one, you can check what's your problem in mind. That you have to sort out. That's why we have to use the Sata Satipatthana.
Okay, Hamdurane, there are no further questions. Shall I finish off the program or?
Yeah.
Right. As there are no further questions, this concludes today's program. We will notify the exact date and time of our next program, as there is another planned meditation program starting at the end of this month. Many merits to Venerable Abhaya Thero, the translator, the organizing committee of Arya Dhamma Meditation Group, and to all our participants. May all of us attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Theruvan Saranai.
Okay, we are giving the lot of merits to the Arya Dhamma Meditation Group and the person and all the group. They are helping to this very valuable program, and I wish all the devotees and all the friends who are listening to this Dhamma to get the Nibbana. So I'm giving some blessing to you. If you worship, I can bless. Abhivadana Siris Nichang Vada Pachayino Chattaro Dhamma Vadanti Ayuvanno Sukambalang Ayurarogya Sampatti Sagga Sampatti Mevacha Ato Nibbana Sampatti Minate Samijjatu. Nibbana Pasisupatta Nibbana Pasisupatta Nibbana Pasisupatta Nibbana Pasisupatta Nibbana Pasisupatta Nibbana Pasisupatta Nibbana Pasisupatta